Welcome back. As a mom, I can't imagine living through what our next guests have endured. A day before her 6th birthday, little Christa was diagnosed with leukemia. And in an instant, life changed dramatically for her, her mom, and her 2 sisters. Mom and Christa basically moved into the hospital while the 2 sisters tried to get by at home. They say they never would have gotten through those most difficult days without the help of one very special person whom we're going to meet a little bit later. But first, let's say hi to Georgette, Christa, her younger sister, Skyla, and her older sister, Geneil. Welcome, you guys. You guys are amazing. We're here, we're safe, we've rang the bell, but let's take us back.
Yes.
Okay, when she first got diagnosed, what was it like?
It was really just so unexpected. At first, she had COVID, and then we thought COVID was finished with that. Then she had a stomach virus. She woke up one morning and her lymph nodes were swollen, so I took her to the doctor. And they said, oh, she just have an infection. Okay, just follow up with her regular doctor, which I did follow up. And something said, get a full physical when you take her, and I did.
And did you know something was wrong deep
Within
down?
myself, I knew something was wrong, right? So we got up the next morning, we took her again to the emergency room. And now I'm determined to get test results. I want you to actually do x-rays, do more for me.
You were
to
her
settle
advocate.
me. Yeah, you know? So at that moment when we went in to the hospital, unfortunately, we found out we're never gonna be leaving for the next couple months. And it was just,
so sorry.
It was so
And what
heartbreaking.
what was her initial diagnosis?
Her initial diagnosis is leukemia AML.
Leukemia AML.
I was so devastated that throughout my life, I grew up with my grandmother having cancer. And it was a fear of mine to think that I would have cancer growing up. But unfortunately, it skipped me. And now my daughter, you know,
It must have been
diagnosed.
so daunting to basically have to move into the hospital.
Yes.
I mean, you're working, you have 3 children.
Yes.
What was that like from one day to the next?
Life became completely different to the point that now I'm worrying about how is my rent gonna get paid? How am I gonna put food on the table? How am I gonna be there for my other kids, you know? And most of all, how am I gonna get to be there for my daughter that's that's gonna be going through the most right now? It was scary.
What do you remember about that time, Christa?
I don't remember that much. That I just remember that everyone was like all over me. I got a little scared because I was worried. I was worried for my mom because she was a little sad. The second thing I remember was that they was checking up on me, making sure I was good, like checking what's wrong with me.
Well, you had a great mother and you had a great team of doctors, because I know it wasn't easy to go through this, but how are you today?
I'm feeling amazing. I feel much better. I feel really different.
And just so you guys know, Christa is no longer homeschooled. She's back in school, right?
Yes.
Back to regular programming.
Yes, Christa is actually 2 years now in remission. She's doing amazing.
Amazing. Because of you.
She is doing amazing, and I'm just so thankful beyond over the moon. I'm thankful with everything. We were actually introduced to Friends of Karen, which is an organization that helps families with kids that has fatal illness. And they came through and helped us with rent, support, transportation. And it was just an amazing thing to know that we had all the support we had while we were in the hospital. And not only that, they introduced us to Jane, which Jane is a part of our family now.
We love Jane.
And we love Jane so much.
We're gonna talk about Jane in a little bit.
She's amazing.
Geneil, what was it like for you guys?
During this time, when we met Jane, she met with us through Zoom, And sometimes it was just Skyla on Zoom with Jane, just talking about her feelings and her emotions. And then sometimes it was group calls with other kids that were going through the same thing that Skyla was going through. And also during this time, my mental health was terrible. I was depressed. And it was hard for me to separate and be there for Skyla, knowing how bad it was for me. And so Jane pushed me into going back into therapy. And I needed that a lot during this time.
Everybody needs a Jane in their life.
Yes.
Yes,
Don't they?
yes.
A few years ago, Christa was diagnosed with leukemia, a day shy of her 6th birthday. It was a life-altering moment for her whole family. Thankfully, today, Christa is in remission. But they all say they never could have coped without our next guest. She's an art therapist and sibling support specialist with Friends of Karen. Let's welcome Jane. Oh, Jane! I love you, Jane. I don't even know you. But how was your experience, working with the family? And, like they said, you changed their 2 years.
Well, I love this family. It's such a pleasure to work with them. And I work for the organization Friends of Karen. And Karen was a young woman who had a life-threatening illness, and her last wishes were to die at home and not in a hospital. So the community came around her. Her friends of Karen came to support her so that she could do that. And that was almost 50 years ago. And we've helped 18,000 families since then. So
amazing.
it's a great program.
Tell us how you kind of worked with each one of them.
Sure. So I'm a sibling support specialist. So when Christa was in the hospital, Skyla was home, and she didn't really know what was going on. So we provide illness education and emotional support to the families and helped her learn about her sister's illness. We'd use art activities, books, and games to help her understand what was going on in a way that she could understand, right? And then I worked with Geneil, and working with her, it was a lot about that emotional support and validating the feelings that she was having. She was a young adult going through this, and now her whole role has changed, right? When a diagnosis happens to a family like this, or a child, it doesn't affect just her, it affects the whole family.
And your executive director is in the audience.
Yes, that's Judy up there.
Hi, Judy. Little shout out. I mean, it's a wonderful organization because with these, life-threatening situations, it changes on a dime.
Right.
Your life.
Yes.
I know you guys want to say a little something to Jane, so
Yes.
there you go.
First of all, let me start off by saying, when I came home and we were now home, I became a part of the group. It wasn't just about the kids anymore. Whenever mom could join in and make it a family thing, whenever it could be all of us, I join in too, because I'm a kid at heart too, right?
Yeah, you are.
And we just want to say we love you so much. We appreciate you from the bottom of our heart, and the support still continues.
Yeah.
Never ends.
I mean, truly, it's, during these moments of, we call them like road bumps, little speed bumps, and you think they're gonna last forever, and then we get through it, and then it happens again. But, Skyla, what do you want to say to Jane?
Jane, I thank you for helping me and my sister. I'm so happy because me and my sister got over it by missing each other, but I still missed her all my heart, and I think you belong in our family because you help us.
Oh, Christa.
I love Jade so much. She's like our family, and I've knew that since I met her. She's like my wishing star that I ever met. She's the best. Like, she's like my best friend.
She's a wonderful wishing star who's gonna not only help your family, but other families. Our friends at Scholastic believe all children deserve to feel safe and cared for, and they know firsthand the power of books and how much it brings comfort and joy to kids. That's why they're supporting your work at Friends of Karen with a $5,000 donation. Woo! And a donation of $5,000 worth of books. There's a little more. I'm just gonna say, I love this part. Georgette, Geneil, Skyla, Christa, we want you to go out and we want you guys to have some fun together.
Wow.
So we are sending you guys on a 5-night Caribbean getaway to beaches. Oh, that's right. Turks and Caicos. Hold on. You'll experience a club-level suite at this all-inclusive, luxurious resort, complete with a 12-mile stretch of the world's famous Race Bay Beach, endless dining options, Pirates Islands, water parks, and more.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome! For more information about Friends of Karen, check out our Instagram story.